Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special episode of Conversations with Prime. I got a really special guest. It's a super honor to have him. I met this brother back in 2002 at a Guitar Center DJ battle, and that's when I witnessed greatness. He always showed love and respect, and vice versa. He's one of the biggest inspirations to me. His whole style is cold. He shuts it down every time. No question. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only DJ Flawless.
Damn.
Thank you, my brother, for being a part of the Conversations with Prime journey.
Thank you for having me, man. That intro. Sheesh.
How you feeling, brother?
I'm good, brother. I'm
How's
good. We had us
everything,
some
man?
chicken, you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
We was
you know what I'm
chilling.
saying? Buffalo Wild Wing style, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. You know, we have to get right, man. So we're going to get right into it, man. Thank you once again. And please like, share, and subscribe. You see his name on the screen. And sit back and enjoy the show. You know, my infamous question I always ask, at what age did you start spinning?
Started spinning. Can I tell you the first time I touched the turntable?
Of course.
All right. First time I touched the turntable that I can remember was 3 years old. My father bought me a Fisher-Price turntable when I was a little cat, and the record that I played was, I forgot the name of the record, but it goes that was the very first record, and all I did was just scratch that thing all the time, to the point my mother had to keep telling me, like, baby, you gotta let the record play. You know, you can do your scratching, but let the record play a little bit and scratch some more. So yeah, 3 years old, I touched the turntable, and DJing, probably was like 5, 6 years old, having the opportunity to be on my father's set. So I was very young, very, very young.
That's amazing, brother. And for you to be so detailed about that, it's amazing that you still remember all that, man.
Yeah, I still remember that Fisher-Price turntable. I went through like 3 of them.
That was the red, white, and blue one.
Yeah,
man,
but I
classic.
had a Fisher-Price one. I had a Sesame Street one. Then I went right back to the Fisher-Price one again. Like, you know.
Who was your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration was my family. My father's a DJ. My mother's a DJ. I have uncles that DJ. I have cousins that DJ. I have aunts that MC. So I was born into hip hop. So I have to give that to my roots. Outside of that, it will have to be the cut technician Steve D. It will have to be Uncle Red Alert. It will have to be Kid Capri, DJ Premier. I still use their tools in me to move forward within hip hop.
That's amazing, man. Can you tell us about some of the amazing talent that comes from your family?
The talent. Again, my father, legendary DJ, been DJing since 1976. He's played with Grandmaster Flash. They even said there was rumors where they battled, but he will tell you that they never battled. They just had the opportunity to perform in front of people, and the audience took it as oh, Rock and Rob did this and Flash did that, you know, hood politics stuff. He's played with Grand Wizard Theodore, all the legends, to be honest with you. You know, and having a opportunity to have a legacy of hip hop all through my childhood. I grew up with my father being able to play basketball and DJ.
That's respect, man. And you know, I see that you on tour with Exhibit. That is phenomenal.
Thank you.
If that's not inspirational,
it's a great experience because you always want to push forward and be better, and you're only as better of a person by your company. You dig what I'm saying? Like, take going from junior varsity to so on and so forth and going up. Just because you're good in junior varsity, now you got to go up to varsity, where you're ranking in varsity, and then you go to the pros and this, that, and the third. And the fact that Exhibit reached out to me, because I've watched this man since I was young. Always respect his craft, always respect his passion through his music. You can tell he's very serious and very skilled. So for years later, to get a phone call saying that, like, yo, I see what you doing. What's up? Come through. You know what I'm saying? That right there was serious. And then once you're there, you got to prove, are you worth being around? It's been going on 3 years now, so
that's amazing.
You know
man.
what I mean? That means something.
That is such a blessing because, you know, a lot of people would want to experience that. And you as my brother to see that, I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
And that's just amazing. You know, it's just more to come. You know, we have,
yes, sir.
It's only the beginning.
Yes, sir.
So who was your mentor?
Goes right back to my father. My father from his dojo, because we're at the dojo. Right. My father's dojo, the number one things, because there's a couple of number ones. There's just very important things you gotta have. Music selection, be on beat. That was one of the number one things my father always told me to make sure you have. Make sure you're on time. Make sure you're on beat. Make sure it makes sense no matter what you're doing. So that's always been my inner clock. He's the one that told me about your inner clock. He's a drummer. So before he was DJing, he was a drummer. He played for a group in the South Bronx called the Hot Ice. He also drummed with some South Bronx legends. There was a brother by the name of Pumpkin. He did a lot of productions for Sugar Hill. You know what I mean? He went off and did a lot of work. So he was amongst that. So he already had a pocket of being on time. And then when he was able to DJ, he took that into that world. So me growing up into it, that's all I knew. I had to make sure I made sense and I was on beat. Then the next dojo that I was able to go to was the cut technician, Steve D, the X-Men. I met him in the going into the 2000s. I was maybe like in my early 20s. Met him at Katona Park where he was performing with my father at a Tools of War concert. And that's where I first met him. And I was able to be amongst the man that created beat juggling, you know?
What's better than that, man?
Yeah, man. And I saw
How
that
many
style.
people could say that?
Yeah, I saw that style at the age of 7. And I was like, I saw how my father DJ, very skillful, very musical. But my father even knew what Steve was doing was a whole nother level. And he recorded that tape and he showed his 7-year-old son the next level. I was hooked ever since. And I was able to meet him in my younger 20s. Just because you're amongst them doesn't automatically make you dope.
100%.
I was told that hip hop asks you a question and it's up to you to give that an answer. Now, when I first heard that, I'm like, what's the question? Once I started understanding that, and because I'm leaving that in the air for everybody else. Once you can be on your journey to answer that, that's when hip hop superpowers start to be revealed to you. So there's levels to it.
It definitely is. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And one thing I'm gonna say, super dope DJ, super dope turntablist. With those combinations, it comes with battles.
Right.
You know?
And I love the fact that you separated them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
It's different.
Dominant in both of them.
Thank you.
And I know that you've been in the battle, so that's why I met you. I met you in the
Yes,
battle,
sir.
you know what I'm saying?
We met on the battlefield.
What year was it? What year was it when you entered your first battle?
I want to say maybe 2002, 2003.
Was it at the Guitar Center? Was that your
Yes,
first?
it was at the Guitar
That's
Center in
amazing,
Queens.
yo.
I came out of boot camp in 2001. Coming out of boot camp, I was blessed with Technique 1210s. My father left me alone for a whole year. So the 2002 came in, 2003 came in, and he was like, yo, what are you doing? You're in this room for a year and some change. What's up? And I was like, I'm not ready. He was like, he wanted me to get into some battles. He wanted me to get outside. And I was like, I don't think I'm ready. He told me, like I told you, my whole family damn near DJs. I have a cousin that's a lot older than me. And when he was younger, he got into an accident, a freak accident, and half of his body is paralyzed. He only uses one arm. He DJ. He not just DJs, he was battling. And he was in the Guitar Center battle.
I remember I met him.
That's my blood. And my father put me in my tracks when he said, yo, your cousin Keith is battling. I said, what? This is a man that has one arm and he's willing to go to war with those with two. And at the time, all I had was 2 records that I practiced with a lot. And I said, if my cousin can go in with one arm, who am I to not go? What am I doing?